Dubbed Operation Red Desert started last year when investigators say they started to see an uptick in violence. They discovered a connection with the Nuestra Familia prison gang and the Norteño street gang. Officials say local street gang members were carrying out the orders of high-ranking prison gang members.
This group displays its affiliation with the gang and also its neo-Nazi ideology through various means. They will often have tattoos that have the letters SFV, representing San Fernando Valley, and also, in their own conversations, searching for victims.
The FBI, come to the front door, open it, come out with your hands up, nothing in your hand.
Gang-related criminal activities have been a persistent threat to public safety in various regions of California, with law enforcement agencies intensifying efforts to dismantle these violent organizations. From white supremacist street gangs like the SFV Peckerwoods in the San Fernando Valley to notorious groups like the Quiet Village Gang in San Gabriel Valley, recent federal investigations and multi-agency operations have resulted in significant arrests and indictments. These operations, targeting gangs with ties to organized crime networks such as the Mexican Mafia, Aryan Brotherhood, and Nuestra Familia, reveal the complex and far-reaching nature of gang-related violence, drug trafficking, and financial fraud across the state. High-profile arrests and prosecutions underscore the commitment of federal, state, and local authorities to disrupt these criminal enterprises and safeguard the communities affected by their activities.
And where El Monte Police Department in a press conference is set to get underway. Take a look behind me. Hopefully you can see these are the suspects, most of them taken into custody this morning. All of them documented gang members, according to law enforcement, known on the streets of El Monte as sicko, snarky, wacky, mad dog, and psycho, to name a few. And all of them were taken into custody this morning.
This is the FBI. Come to the front door, open it, come out with your hands up, nothing in your hand.
The suspects, again, most of which are documented gang members, according to law enforcement, now facing federal racketeering charges under the RICO Act. And this all started after a member of that same gang, El Monte police officers, Corporal Michael Paredes and Officer Joseph Santana, in June of last year here in El Monte. The officers had been responding to a 911 call reporting a stabbing in what appeared to be a case of domestic violence when they say the suspect opened fire. The two officers firing back, killing the suspect.
Federal authorities announced on Wednesday that several members and associates of the Quiet Village street gang tied to the fatal shooting of two El Monte police officers now face federal charges, including witness intimidation and drug trafficking. The investigation into the gang intensified following the June 14, 2022 demise of Sergeant Michael Paredes and Officer Joseph Santana. Both officers were fatally shot while responding to a domestic violence call at a motel in El Monte. The gunman, Justin William Flores, a known Quiet Village member, was also shot in the exchange of gunfire. Officials have accused the Quiet Village gang of terrorizing the local community for years and maintaining ties with the notorious Mexican Mafia. The indictment outlines various violent acts, including the attempted deletion of a rival gang member and the of a bystander in a retaliatory attack targeting an informant. The Quiet Village gang also allegedly operated an illegal gambling den in Whittier where narcotics were sold. One of the gang's leaders, Chase Carrillo, also known as Sicko, is accused of shooting a rival gang member in January 2022 after an argument in El Monte. Carrillo and another gang leader, Ronnie Rojas, reportedly shot the rival gang member multiple times, leaving him critically wounded. A third individual, identified as JP, is accused of driving the getaway vehicle. Months later, when a police report named JP as a witness, Rojas allegedly instructed members of his gang to circulate the report, signaling that JP should be deleted for cooperating with authorities. Shortly after, Carrillo and another associate, Garcia, allegedly attempted to delete JP, but instead, a woman in the vehicle was fatally shot. Authorities further alleged that gang members celebrated the demise of the two El Monte officers by placing posters, graffiti, and stickers around their illegal gambling business to glorify the shooter and instill fear in the community. Richard Guzman, another Quiet Village member, is charged with multiple counts of selling drugs during the summer of 2022. Meanwhile, Rojas, while incarcerated in the Los Angeles County Jail, is accused of conspiring with a relative to distribute.
38 people arrested and 21 guns seized.
Those are the results of a multi-agency gang investigation involving Modesto Police, the CHP, and the Department of Justice. Now, we first told you about the bust yesterday. The investigation, dubbed Operation Red Desert, started last year when investigators say they started to see an uptick in violence. They discovered a connection with the Nuestra Familia prison gang and the Norteño street gang. Officials say local street gang members were carrying out the orders of high-ranking prison gang members.
Authorities announced the arrests of 38 individuals, the seizure of 21 firearms, and the prevention of both a deletion and a home invasion robbery following a large-scale gang investigation. The multi-agency effort involved the Modesto Police Department, California Highway Patrol, and the State Department of Justice. The operation, dubbed Operation Red Desert, was launched last year after investigators noticed a surge in violent activity. Their investigation uncovered ties between the Nuestra Familia prison gang and the Norteño street gang. According to officials, local street gang members were carrying out orders from high-ranking members of the prison gang. These gang members would case neighborhoods, looking for homes where families were away at work or school, then break in to steal valuables like jewelry and prescriptions to sell, explained gang investigator Michael Roquetas. While property crimes had the most significant impact on the community, the 38 arrested suspects face a range of charges, including conspiracy to commit murder, kidnapping, and home invasion robbery.
Christina Gonzalez live on what the U.S. Attorney is calling one of the largest takedowns in the history of the DOJ. Christina.
Yeah, this is one of 29 locations where they served federal search warrants. You're going to see them going into that room right behind us, part of a very large indictment against what they are describing as a local hate group. Watch.
This man is barricaded himself.
A motel manager describing security video from the 777 Motor Inn off Sepulveda as federal agents break into one of the rooms. The view from Skyfox as federal and local law enforcement serves arrest warrants against members of a San Fernando hate group.
The San Fernando Valley Peckerwoods, essentially a local chapter of the Aryan Brotherhood, has for many years tormented these neighborhoods in the San Fernando Valley.
This group displays its affiliation with a gang and also its neo-Nazi ideology through various means. They will often have tattoos that have the letters SFV, representing San Fernando Valley, and also, in their own conversations, searching for victims.
This was one of the largest violent extremist takedowns in LA, this city's history.
Federal and local law enforcement agencies have arrested 42 members and associates of the Peckerwoods, a white supremacist street gang based in the San Fernando Valley, California, on a 76-count federal indictment. The Justice Department has delivered a decisive blow to the SFV Peckerwoods, a violent white supremacist gang that we believe is responsible for trafficking deadly drugs and engaging in financial fraud to fund both their criminal enterprise and that of the Aryan Brotherhood, said Attorney General Merrick B. Garland. According to the indictment, the Peckerwoods, a street gang with white supremacist ties, operate under the influence of the Aryan Brotherhood, California's largest white supremacist prison gang, and are allied with the Mexican Mafia. The gang is notorious for using Nazi symbols and iconography, including swastikas and 88. The investigation led to the seizure of large quantities of drugs and illegal firearms. Authorities also uncovered widespread financial fraud schemes, including fraudulent applications for COVID-19 relief funds, such as the Paycheck Protection Program, PPP, filed by gang members using stolen identities. The Peckerwoods, operating out of the San Fernando Valley, generated revenue through drug trafficking and financial fraud, including PPP and unemployment benefit fraud. Defendants Sean Craig Gluckman and Maria Anna James were charged with fraudulently submitting applications for PPP loans on behalf of incarcerated individuals, pocketing portions of the illegal funds.
This board shows the 85 people the Orange County Sheriff's Department and the Department of Justice arrested over a 3-month span. The so-called Operation Scarecrow targeted the Sureño street gang and Mexican Mafia members operating in Orange County. With the arrests, authorities say they've disrupted the criminal actions of the Mexican Mafia, which operates in jails and prisons. In 2016, longtime Orange County Mexican Mafia leader Peter Ojeda was sentenced to 15 years for racketeering and is said to have continued running criminal activity in the area.
The intelligence gained through this investigation has helped us to prevent a number of violent crimes
California Attorney General Xavier Becerra and the Orange County Sheriff's Department announced the results of an operation targeting the Serrano criminal street gang and the Mexican Mafia. The so-called Operation Scarecrow resulted in 85 arrests over 3 months, seized 36 firearms, including assault weapons, seized 14 pounds of drugs, Becerra said. Orange County Undersheriff Don Barnes said a 2016 deletion in San Juan Capistrano was the catalyst for the investigation. He said the victim was an associate of the Mexican Mafia. With the arrests, authorities said they've disrupted the criminal actions of the Mexican Mafia, which operates in prisons. The charges in these cases range from fraud to attempted, all with gang enhancements. Every arrest that we can make that disrupts the criminal activity of the Mexican Mafia is effective in disrupting their criminal enterprise, Barnes said.
Take a look at the cache of weapons seized today by the CHP, ATF, and the Kern County Sheriff's Office. More than 150 law enforcement officers took part in the bust of Hells Angels members, including the entire Bakersfield chapter. 7 in all are charged. Among those charges, kidnapping, first-degree robbery, assault with a firearm, and participation in a criminal street gang.
Authorities announced Tuesday that the entire Bakersfield chapter of the Hells Angels motorcycle gang was arrested on a range of serious charges. 6 members of the Hells Angels were apprehended during the operation, with a 7th member already in custody. Those arrested include Alvarez, Villasenor, Soto Sir, Soto Jr., and Zavala, who the ATF confirmed are active patched members of the Hells Angels Bakersfield chapter. Vaughn and Seeger, also taken into custody, are members of the Sons of Hell Motorcycle Club, a sub-affiliate group that operates under the direction of the Hells Angels, according to investigators. During the raids, authorities seized approximately 25 firearms, ammunition, high-capacity magazines, and gang-related paraphernalia. 8 search warrants were executed at various locations throughout Bakersfield. The suspects face an extensive list of charges, including kidnapping, first-degree robbery, criminal threats, false imprisonment, assault with a firearm, participation in a criminal street gang, conspiracy, witness intimidation, and elder abuse. The recent takedowns of gang-related criminal organizations across California, including the SFV Peckerwoods, Quiet Village Gang, and others, mark significant strides in the ongoing battle against organized crime. Through coordinated efforts between federal, state, and local law enforcement agencies, these operations have not only led to the arrest of dozens of violent offenders, but also disrupted the flow of dangerous drugs, firearms, and illicit financial schemes. The investigations demonstrate the power of collaboration in combating the multifaceted threat posed by gangs and their ties to larger criminal networks. As law enforcement continues its relentless pursuit of these criminal elements, the hope is that the dismantling of these organizations will bring lasting security to affected communities and deter future gang activity.